Hello again, welcome back to another Path of Exile video. So this league, I'm not playing my original build again, I'm just playing someone else's idea. Basically Frostbomb and Archmage, because Frostbomb has a shitload of damage effectiveness. So Archmage is gonna give you a lot of flatlining damage, which is gonna be 3 times as effective. So that's the major idea of stacking mana, get yourself a bunch of added lightning damage, which get multiplied 3 times by Frostbomb. So that's the major idea from the build. So that's a basic idea of the build. So because you're stacking mana, so Clock of Defiance and Pledge of Hands is like a no-brainer, and because Pledge of Hands gives you greater spell echo, each time you cast, you're gonna cast 4 times because you can combine Greater Spell Echo with Spell Echo. So yeah, the major 2 items, Clock of Defiance and Pledge of Hands, gives you a bunch of mana regen, and damage because of Archmage. That's the core of the build. So before you get a 6-link Pledge of Hands and a Clock of Defiance, I think you're kind of stuck with Stormcore basically. Actually, this can still be a Stormcore build. You can always swap Frostbomb with Stormcore, but because Stormcore doesn't have cooldown, you can easily overspend your mana and cause your health pool to be halved if you overspend your mana with Stormcore. So keep in mind that. But you can always swap Frostbomb for Stormcore. The gem links are exactly the same, the build works exactly the same. It's just a skill difference. And the base damage of the skill itself doesn't really matter, because most of your damage comes from Archmage anyway. So that's that too. So yeah, you can level up with Stormcore, you can Stormcore until you get enough currency for Clock of Defiance and Pledge of Hands. And I got really lucky this league. I have some golem gems drop during my leveling ultimatums, so I was able to afford Foible, Clock of Defiance and Pledge of Hands pretty early on. Not only that, my 6-link luck is also extremely good to this league, because I used 20 fusing on the Clock of Defiance and then I got a Harvest. I go in. It allows me to roll 10 fusings, and that 10 fusings give me a 6-link Clock of Defiance. And then I flow 30 more fusing on my Pledge of Hands, and it also 6-link. So I got extremely lucky and able to swap to Frostbomb early on. But before you get a 6-link Pledge of Hands, I think it's kind of difficult to get out of the Stormcore phase. But yeah, don't do this on this start is my recommendation. So if you have a 6-link Pledge of Hands, you can start doing your Frostbomb stuff. So again, the gear is Clock of Defiance, Pledge of Hands, and is the core item. A Siris Foible is gonna give you a crap ton of mana and mana regen, which is just good. And then Essence Worm allow you to use an aura without actually reserving your mana. So you put Silatory or Wrath in it. Wrath is gonna give you slightly more damage, but Silatory gives you more reliable crit, and Consecrated Ground for, you know, even more crit and some slight life regen recovery, but most of your life recovery is gonna come from Agnostic. So the 4 units are the core item, and then I was using Dream Fragment for the longest time, because before Uberlap you do not have element immunity, so having Dream Fragment is just a no-brainer, because it gives you resist, it gives you mana regen, which is just perfect for our build because we have 50% Mind Over Matter. Thanks to Clock of Defiance and your Ascendancy, you actually get 50% Mind Over Matter. So yeah, even if I only have 3,000 200 life, I actually have 6,400 effective health against one-shots. And for non-one-shots, my health is gonna recover really quickly with the agnostic and super mana regen. So that's the base stuff. And then the other part of the gears is just life and resist. You need some kind of dex. Because I want my second win to be higher level, so as you can see you need 72 dex, but foible is gonna reduce that. So you need some dex basically, so I get some dex on my gloves, but otherwise the glove is kinda shit. And then my boots is even more shit, because it barely has any resist, barely have any life. I have some mana, but you know, it's shit. And then, yeah, basically this gear I self-farm, because before you get Awakened Spell Cascade, I always feel like you're not really playing the build yet before Awakened Spell Cascade, so I'm saving up for that. So other of my gear is mostly shit, self-found gear. The belt, I found it on an Abyss. Glove, boots, all shit. The ham is decent. I bought the base for like 30C I think, and then I spammed some random essence, fossils, harvest craft randomly until I get a pretty decent helmet that gives you a lot of resist, life and mana. So yeah, it's not, yeah, again, nothing too special about the gear just yet before I get Awakened Spell Cascade. And as for these are the gear, and for the gem link, Frostbomb, and then less duration, because you don't want to wait forever before the bomb explodes, because if you stand in the middle of a pack, you get swarmed, and if you don't kill them, you die. So less duration, make the bomb explode faster. It feels a lot better for clearing. And then Spell Cascade. I assume you know the basic about the Spell Cascade, but basically if the boss is between 2 Frost Bombs or 2 Storm Cores, depending on what skill you use, they're gonna get hit by both. So you basically effectively doubles your damage if you put them in a sweet spot. Like, assume the golem is the boss, you put the spawn here, the boss is gonna get hit by both. You assume the boss is the golem, you can, you know, practice a little bit and stuff, put the boss in between, and they're gonna get hit by both. So Awakened Spell Cascade allow you to get hit by all 3, not all 3, but 3 out of the 5 Frost Bombs if you have Awakened Spell Cascade. That's why I feel like before you get Awakened Spell Cascade, you're not really playing the build. But for now, already I feel like my area is already good enough for clearing. As you can see, it's like half of your screen, at least half of the screen get blow up, and anything get caught in it is gonna die. As soon as I put on my 6 link, Pledge of Hands, everything just dies in one cast, including bosses. It's only the top end of the like tier 15, tier 16 bosses that survives with like 20% health or something after one cast. Anything else just dies with one cast. Rarely do they survive. So you just have enough damage. As you can see, you only have 21k. Put on Archmage, suddenly you have 108,000 lightning damage. And this is not even factoring in Siege of Power and stuff, and Arcane Search and stuff. If you have Arcane Cloak up, if your Arcane Cloak up, 225,000. So yeah, as you can see, I'm sustaining Righteous Fire. If you don't use it, you're gonna deal less, but still good enough, I would say. Yeah, again, you just have enough damage, so you don't need the Righteous Fire unless you're fighting endgame bosses. For general mapping, just don't turn it on. But I just love having a circle around me. That's why I keep turning it on and keep dying because of that when I do not need the damage. But yeah, for general mapping, just don't turn it on. Only you turn it on when you're fighting endgame bosses, and never turn it on maps that has minus mass stress or any difficult map mods, because you're gonna take a bunch more damage, and your mana is not gonna be able to sustain as well. So yeah, don't turn on the Righteous Fire if you don't need the damage, unless you are like me that really likes a circle around you. So basically, spell Cascade is the link. Let's talk about the links. I got derailed for a while. Fourth link, I use Penetration because I just prefer that, because you're gonna run into some super tanky red beasts that has cap resistance, like over cap resistance. So even if you're putting conductivity on them, they are still gonna have 75% resistance. That's why I prefer Lightning Penetration for most of my... I prefer Penetration gems in most of my builds because of that. I just hate it when I run into a random beast that takes forever to kill. So that's me, but you can use Control Destruction, I think, for more damage in general, and then Spell Echo, because combined with Greater Spell Echo, you repeat one more time, and because you have a cooldown on it, so casting 4 times instead of 3 each time you cast is gonna be better than, you know, casting 1 time. And then Archmage, again, major damage support, so this is the first 6 link on the Pledge of Hands. And for my second 6 link, I'm using Arcane Cloak and Siege of Power, which both of them is supported by Second Wind and Arcane Surge. Siege of Power is not gonna trigger Arcane Surge, but you know, it is what it is. But I just put both of them in a 6 link because most of the gems can benefit both. So, which is also linked with increased AoE, which only benefits Siege of Power, and increased duration, which affects Arcane Cloak, Siege of Power, and Arcane Surge. So increased duration is gonna buff 3 gems in this setup, which also allows you to get close to always uptime with your level 20 Arcane Surge. You have like around 1 second of downtime for the level 20 Arcane Surge, but thanks to your Ascendancy, your Arcane Surge is just gonna be up all the time. Again, if your Arcane Cloak get broken, you're also gonna lose the benefit, the bonus damage of it. But that's basically again, Silvery or Wrath, depending on what watches you get. Wrath is gonna give you slightly more damage. And then for my other links, I have a Righteous Fire, again only for my endgame bosses realistically, and then Clarity, because you know it helps your mana regen, and it barely takes up your mana, so why not? And then yeah, I'm just leveling up some random gems. Assessor Mark is, before I get this Assessor Mark ring, when I was still using Dream Fragment, I'm using self-cast Assessor Mark, but it usually get overrides with my Orb of Storm conductivity, so it doesn't actually matter that much with the Divergent Assessor Mark. But yeah, I'm just trying things out because I have just so many spare sockets at this point. So Flame Dash, Second Wind, Lightning Golem. Lightning Golem is not useful. It dies. It just dies. The Lightning Golem just cannot survive, so whatever. And then Wave of Conviction, Hex Touch, Conductivity, and Orb of Storm. In mapping, you just put down Orb of Storm. It's gonna Conductivity everyone. And for map bosses, you can Wave of Conviction for more damage. And then, but after I switch to Assessor Mark Ring, I don't think this setup is too useful at this point. Unless I get a Weakened Hex Touch. so I can get both conductivity and assassin mark on bosses. But before that, this setup is not too useful for bosses, but it's still good for general conductivity on random mobs. That's basically the links. I have basically 4 spare sockets at this point, but again, before I get to Awakened Spell Cascade, I don't want to think too much about it. For Ascendancy, I take Conviction of Power first, because I want more crit, and then I take Arcane Blessing, so you get more Arcane Surge effectiveness, which gives you more spell damage and more mana regen. And then I get Divine Guidance and switched full on to Mind Over Matter, because now that I have 50% Mind Over Matter. And then for Uber Lab, I get the final note here that gives you immunity when you have Arcane Surge, so you can forgo Dream Fragment after you get Uber Lab, because now you can switch to Assassin Mark Ring. So yeah, it would be perfect if the ring has more dex, but it is what it is. This is only 100C, I think, not too expensive. Yeah. As for the passive tree, it's basically a not random, but just your everyday Archmage skill tree. Gives you a lot of mana and stuff. I use Intuitive Leap because there's a lot of notables that's useful for you, and you save a lot of points using this. So you can even pick up Blast Radius just from that. It saves you a lot of points with a lot of benefit, in my opinion, so Intuitive Leap is worth it. As for Cluster Jewels, this note here is the most important. It gives you mana and Lightning Pan. I use Disorienting Display because having Blind Aura up sometime is better than never having a Blind Aura. Also, even if you cast 4 times, it only roll 10% chance to blind once. So you still need to spam your Sigil of Power or Orb of Storm for maximum uptime for Disorienting Display. But again, having blind up sometimes is better than having blind up no time. The third note on a large cluster, I choose Prismatic Art. Well, not choose, but this is the cheapest one I can get with these 2 nodes. So I get that. The third node is not too important, but it's good that if you can get a useful node here. As for medium cluster, I choose Crit with pressure points and Basis of Pain because I want more reliable crit. And then yeah, jewels, you want life, mana, area damage, crit multi, whatever. And then for Watcher's Eye, again, it depends on what Watcher's Eye you can get. It depends which aura you want to use, Silitary or Wrath. Because Silitary Watcher's Eye are way cheaper than Wraths, I'm using Silitary for now. Again, you have the mana taken, damage taken recoup as mana, which is gonna help you sustain your mana when you take damage. So that's basically the gear, the gem links, and the skill tree that I choose to use. I'm not sure if the other Archmage builds are looking like that or not, but I guess most of the Archmage build is gonna look close to like that, because again, this is not my original idea, so this is not exactly a build guide. This is just what I do with the idea of the others Archmage builds. So as for POB, where's my POB? I opened it though. I opened my POB, I don't know why it disappeared. I'm sorry about that. Wait, why the fuck? Oh. Wait, why does it? Okay. Okay, POB. Okay, yeah, as you can see, Siris on consecrated ground. You can mess around on your own. Realistically, you should be able to shock enemies, but I cannot sure how much shock you can get on endgame bosses. They are clearly shocked. They're clearly shocked, but I don't know how much percentage, so I'm not gonna click it. Realistically, you're gonna have shock. As you can see, I break 1,000,000 damage per hit. Barely, without flask up. If you with flask, it's like 20% more damage. Even without that, yes, I still break the 1,000,000 damage mark. So yeah, you can mess around the POB as you like. If you are using conductivity, you have slightly less damage against endgame bosses. If not, you're using assassin mark, then assassin mark on hit, then you break the 1,000,000 mark. Is there anything else? Yeah, I'm using 1 stage of Sigil of Power. If you have 4, slightly more damage. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you with my first Shepherd Guardian kill, which is a Phoenix, which shows you why you should not turn on Righteous Fire if you're on a dangerous map, because as you can see, you cannot gain your mana back. So yeah, first Phoenix kill, bad example, but then I'm gonna show you the Warlord kill, shows you the damage against level 81 Warlord, so you can see the damage, and then my first Siris kill, which is only a mechanical 5, because again, first Siris. So I'm gonna leave you with those 3 fights and the POB link, so you can mess around the settings and stuff and see the damage. You can even see, you know, when you turn off the Righteous Fire, the damage goes down and stuff. So anyway, thank you for joining. I'm gonna leave you with those 3 fights, so have a nice day and goodbye. Okay, so this is the first Trial Master I get, level 81, minus mass rest. Monster damage, well, I mean, I won't get fast charge anyway, so yeah, that's bad, because I kind of want my mana flask to run, so
I must have time to gather my will.
I don't know. Oh, he doesn't have as much health as I think, but I need to manage my So I guess that's he slams to the ground, so you need to avoid those spots he slams. He doesn't have as much health as I thought.
And my service continues.
I get hit by that thing. Okay.
And fortune is yours.
Well, I got a 6 link. Anything special I get? Except the reward he says he's gonna give me? This one? Yeah, I guess. Glimpse of Chaos. Alright, so the first Guardian of the character. This is not an easy map. Thank you, Sana. So Tempo Chain, Ellie Weakness, and yeah, more boss life and AoE and damage. So, well, it depends on how long he survives. It can be really good or really bad. So he is not really. Yeah, I should not turn on my Righteous Fire. Turning on Righteous Fire is not a good idea in a minus max res map. I should not turn on my Righteous Fire. That's my biggest mistake. I should not turn on Righteous Fire in a minus max res. Well, that's dumb.
That stretches the sanity of the mind.
Let's see about the Vow Temple then. Let's see. This one. It shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it one-shot them. Oh, whoops. I thought the titty bitch is dead, but I thought the titty bitch is dead, but apparently she's surviving. Oh well, anyway. Okay, so this is just Awaken level 4. I didn't even find my first Siris yet. Level 82 Awaken level 4 Warlord. So yeah.
I killed countless thousands. What's one more?
One cast to make him face, not too bad, I guess. All right.
Your strength is the law.
Okay. First series
Yes.
of the lead. I hope it doesn't go too bad. Well, I mean, yeah, we're still gonna die to one-shots, but if we're not taking one-shots, then our recovery is pretty decent if we don't get blown up by one shot. So
how boring and small. You want the Atlas? Take it. It's yours.
take it. It's yours.
I will burn to the ground. Perhaps the suffering of my fellow citizens will finally stir something.
At some point, I kind of want to try and see how much damage I take from those, but
What's this? A real challenge?
oh, I should not put down Orb of Storm.
Caught my attention.
Oh, it phased him pretty far. Oh shit! I didn't realize I'm standing on the DJ ground. Okay, how much it hurts me? Not too much by standing on the edge. Oh shit! Okay.
The others found strength in
Well, but yeah, I can prepare for
reliant on them.
I can prepare for a full shield of power, so it gets a lot more damage if you can get full shield of power stacks, I guess. And I forgot how to fight. I'm like keep getting hit by his random abilities.
Really interesting enough to warrant all
Oh, I
this
forgot I should not put Orb of Storm again. Okay, the Silver Storm is at a really bad position. This is not good because I cannot run to the upper side, and I don't like this. Okay, good. The 2 storm on the top left is like too high up. Alright.
I am no beast of burden.
Alright. Basically nothing drops. Can I get a goddamn spot? Right. Let's corrupt the shit out of the gloves. Is this my ticket for the Awakened spell Cascade. Hopefully. $10 for the first implicit. And the 11 to break. Yes, great.